Hello and welcome once again, Bearcat Nation, to the Bearcat Sports Report. I'm Austin LeJess. That's Brandon Phillips. Thanks for tuning in. Right away, we start out with men's and women's indoor track and field. On the women's side, last weekend at Principia College and Indiana University, they had some great showings. The Bearcats won the 1,600-meter sprint medley and took second in the 4x400. At Indiana University, senior Latia Jefferson posted an NCAA Division II provisional qualifying mark where she leaped 11.72 meters in the triple jump. She placed 7th overall and set a personal best. Along with her, Megan Doty picked up the 11th place finish in the 5,000-meter run when she placed a final time of 18:29.87. Brandon, the men did just as well as the women this past weekend.
Yes, the men's track team coming off a couple impressive performances at the Indiana Relays last weekend in Bloomington, Indiana. Cameron James posted an NCAA Division II qualifying mark in the 60-meter dash with a time of 6.89 seconds. Also, Blake DeLong picked up a 4th place finish in the mile run, along with winning the 5,000-meter run with a time of 14:48.50. Austin had some time to catch up with men's coach Mike Mendez.
Well, I'm here with head coach of the track and field for both men's and women's, Mike Mendez. Coach, thanks for having us, bringing us on the show, and glad you could take time out of your busy day. This past weekend, you're at University of Indianapolis for a big meet. You guys had some nice finishes.
Yeah, we were at IU, and we took a small group of guys guys and girls that have done some things this season that we're pretty proud of, and we had some good performances, so we're happy to see that.
Yeah, you had a couple, both men's and women's, with some provisional marks that set some standards both in the meet and for their own standards. What does that mean to your team and both to those athletes?
Yeah, that's why we take those trips. We take those trips to get very good competition, and whenever you have competition that's very good, you kind of step your game up. So they had an opportunity to race some of the top competition, D1 people, big time D1 schools, and along with the other divisions as well.
Yeah, and a big confidence, when you're going up against Division I athletes like that, and you can make a mark against some of those athletes and improve yourself personally. How does that help going back from the indoor season both into the outdoor season?
Yeah, well, if I may just kind of comment about those kind of competitions, I don't know that it's a confidence booster. I will say that it is a challenge, and it allows our individuals to face the top dogs. Because when we race down, we expect to do well. And if you look at the results, they got our butts whooped, and I think you need that because, when we are at the national stage, that's what those caliber athletes are. And you got to be ready for that. That can't be the first time that you had to race top dogs, So hopefully they gain that experience. And then hopefully, kind of going into the outdoor season, these meets are the ones we kind of gear up for. We want to hit national standards. We want to have our athletes be challenged in that way. And then as we get into the outdoor season, things will transition a little bit.
Yeah. Of course, you're heading to Illinois Wesleyan this weekend, also the U of Indy. What are your expectations as a team and individual going into this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend, it's more of we're being a little more precise with our weekend. At some meets, for instance, a couple weeks ago, we took the entire team to a meet. We want to do that, very much so, has a kind of the team feel, and we like to get together and do those kind of things in terms of competition-wise and kind of cheer each other on. This weekend, we're being a little more precise. So, for instance, UIndy, that came about. One thing that I love about the GLDC is us coaches, we want the best for our kids, and we've got a stellar group of guys in the distance events that have legitimate chances. Several who have already been All-Americans who intend on being All-Americans again. So they're kind of chasing a standard this weekend. We're going to send Blake DeLong there, and we've also got an opportunity to run a DMR there up at UIndy. And so that'll be Friday. And then on Saturday at the Illinois Wesleyan, we've got Cameron James and Jordan Henderson, who are both ranked. I think they're tied for like 26th in the nation right now. It's not going to make it. So they know it's time to, all right, we've got the qualification, but they only take 16. So if we want to go, we got to hit another standard. We got to go faster. So we're going to give them another opportunity to do that. And I think they both hit a pretty good time there last year. They got a nice facility there. So we're going to send them there along with a couple other individuals who haven't had a chance to really compete.
That's good. And like you said, those individuals trying to hit those marks and get eventually move up in the track group. Welcome. Thanks, Coach, for taking time out of your day to catch up with us. Now we're moving to the mats with men's and women's wrestling. as men's side posted a number 13th ranked in the latest NCAA Division II polls. Last Thursday, they hosted number 19 Maryville Saints, where they came out on top in what was a close score of 20-18. The highlight of the night, though, came from junior Nick Hafferkamp, as at the 160 pounds, he picked up an 8-7 decision. He upset number 30 Dimitri Willis in what was a second sudden victory period. The Bearcats head to Indianapolis for the Greyhound Open. The Bearcats had 3 second-place finishers, which included Brendan Murphy at 133 pounds, Luis Alba at 174 pounds, and Julian Smith at 197 pounds this past weekend. The Bearcats now are currently 9-2 as a team, and their next home meet will be next Wednesday starting at 7 at University of Indianapolis.
Congratulations to the men on their victory. Now moving over to the women's side of the mat. The women's Bearcats wrapped up the championship portion of their season with an 11th place finish at the WCWA Women's National Tournament. This season, the women posted 9 wins over top 10 ranked teams in the countries, including an 8th place finish as a team at the Cliff Keen Duels. The Bearcats in their inaugural season spent most of it ranked inside the top 15 teams in the country, and as the season winds down, we got a chance to sit down and talk to Coach Sam Smits about the season. We're joined now by Bearcats women's wrestling coach Sam Smith in his first year as coach of the McKendree University Women's Bearcats. I understand that you came from Lindenwood. Previously, you wrestled there and then coached there for a couple years.
Yeah, I wrestled at Lindenwood St. Charles in Missouri, and then I moved and coached there my first year, and then moved to Lindenwood Belleville.
And what was it then? As we mentioned, this was the first season for the Bearcats women's wrestling program. What was it that brought you to a startup program?
To be very honest with you, James Kisgan is who brought me over here. He, approached me with the idea, and I had always been a fan of McKendree and how they, carry themselves as far as wrestling goes, and I wanted to be a part of it. So I was excited. Yeah.
And how much extra work would you say it takes for a first-year program, starting up, like setting all the procedures and everything? How much extra work would you say there?
It's I don't know if it's as much extra work as it is just extra headaches. Coaching wrestling is something that takes a lot of work, and I think coaching any sport does. But just a first year program, trying to get these young kids, not even they're not older, junior, senior level, or freshmen, trying to get them and instill things in them that they maybe haven't been raised to do, and work ethic and things like that, and trying to get them to do that. Is a lot of work, so it is extra work, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you have a pretty young team. First year of the program, obviously, it's going to be a young team, a little bit of growing pains. How have you seen your team improve throughout the season?
Some of them, even, a lot of people have approached me, even at tournaments, and guys on our men's wrestling team, and just tell me that they've seen so much improvement, including, myself. And I tell them, hey, girls, you're getting better, and even Coach Hutchinson, she says they're getting better too. But these other people are approaching us and seeing the improvement on how they approach wrestling. Their intensity, their focus. The way they control and manage their weight for tournaments and duels and things like that. And they're maturing and growing. And I think it's more than just wrestling. It's the maturity through the sport that has been the biggest improvement. So.
And after a pretty successful first season, how do you kind of start to wind down and head into the off season? What are the plans for this off season?
Right away we're getting in the weight room with Coach Fark and working on our strength and conditioning, and certain things that we've had to deal with through the season that we didn't get a focus on. Their foot speed, their footwork, and again their strength, and then giving them a little bit of a break to let their bodies recover, from the grind of wrestling, and just giving them that, that relaxing time where they can also focus on their schoolwork, and we're not traveling every weekend. And so, but we're going to be in the weight room a lot, we're going to be conditioning a lot and taking a smaller break from the wrestling side of things, so.
And just overall, your thoughts on the season and your thoughts with the program moving forward?
Moving forward, we're going to try to bring kids in that want to jump in and be leaders and be the example of how we want things to be. We have girls who I believe next year, first thing, they'll know what's expected of them, what the day-to-day things that are expected of them, and show these new girls, these younger girls, this is how it goes. This is how things are supposed to be, and we're excited. It was a long season. We had some success. You know, we had some. It's always a roller coaster, but in the first year, I think even more. But next year, we're really looking forward to bringing some girls in and growing this team and growing the atmosphere and having different, styles of wrestling that will help us grow as a team and help girls grow individually as well. So we look forward to it. We really do. So.
I'd like to say congratulations on a successful first season and best of luck moving forward.
Yeah. It's hard as a coach, to say that, but yeah, I mean, we're, anything but the best is hard to accept, but we're trying, so we're gonna get better.
All right, Coach Sam Smits, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time. Don't forget, men's and women's basketball will be at home on Thursday and Saturday. They'll take on both the Drury Panthers and the Missouri S&T Miners. On Sunday, men's volleyball will be at home against Grand Canyon University for a 1 o'clock serve time. If you can't make it to the Statham Sports Center, check us out on the Bearcat Sports Network at mckbearcats.com. Look for the Game Central League. Also, you can check out all our previous shows on the Bearcats Athletic YouTube channel. I'm Austin Jess. That's Brandon Phillips. That's all we got for you this week. We hope to see you next week. And as always, go Bearcats.